How's it going, guys? I'm here on the playtest to talk to you about the Incursion Raid 2 difficulty slider. So I was able to get in here and test all our teams, so that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Which your teams are safe to stay as are, which of the teams you're going to need to build up, and then why you should do that. But as you can see right here, I'm only on difficulty 2 on the slider. Unfortunately, the playtest is still a joke when it comes to getting the cutting edge information for you guys. Difficulty 3 was locked, and we've been asking for it to be unlocked, but we couldn't get it unlocked. But if we look at the difference in the stats, it's not an obscene difference, so it should translate fairly well. We're going to have a 10% difference in health, 15% difference in damage, 15% difference in armor, 15% difference in focus, and a 10% difference in resistance. I'll tell you right now that the way I was getting hit on difficulty 2, it's going to be very similar to difficulty 3. If you're not controlling the enemies and snowballing, the enemies will just one-shot you. A lot of the cases with a lot of the very dangerous opponents. So that 15% damage, I don't think is going to be that big a difference because a one-shot on difficulty 2 will still be a one-shot on difficulty 3. But why should you push this difficulty slider? Well, for great rewards, which I don't know what they'll be. Because the difficulty slider on the playtest does not have the Crimson Raid Orbs as source, so we'll have to wait and see when that goes live. Right now, so I just released this video and the raid slider should be out, so we can go ahead and check how valuable pushing the difficulty slider is. But you got to imagine it's gonna be what we always do, even if it's just a incremental difference of, I don't know, 500 orbs between difficulty 3 and the base difficulty. A lot of you cutting edge nerds are gonna go for it, and I appreciate you. Let's quickly go look at the teams we're gonna use in this video, and then we'll get to the gameplay footage. All right, so these are gonna be our raid teams in order, and I know a lot of you are, oh my god, these teams are huge. But let's talk about it, talk about what you may not have to do, and let's talk about why you should probably build up some of these teams anyway. So we got the Bifrost team. We got gear tier 18 on everybody except Loki, who's at gear tier 16. Nobody here is at level 100. And got to remember, those stat changes from between levels 98 and 100, absolutely gigantic. We only have 1 diamond on Val, 1 diamond on Sylvie, so diamonds will be a big difference maker for you here too. And Loki will need his focus. You will want to build him up higher. Those minions do a considerable amount of damage at some points. So you're going to want him higher, unfortunately. So Bifrost, this is kind of the biggest question mark team, right? Is should you invest more in your Bifrost team? At 2.273, as you'll see in the footage, it works completely fine. So if you're around this power level with most of your power in Vol and Beta Ray Bill, that's great. And you could probably leave it as is. However, I do think the Incursion Raid 2 is probably going to be what we're all doing for this Mephisto chase. I don't think they're going to release Incursion Raid 3, and that'll be also for Mephisto. I think they'll hold on till the next raid tier, and then they'll release the next raid, or sorry, the next gear tier, then they'll release the next raid. So I do think Incursion Raid 2 difficulty slider is here to stay for quite a while. So I am comfortable suggesting people do build up their Bifrost a little bit more to make their lives easier. All right, Pegasus team. You see they're all gear tier 18. We have 3 diamonds on Kestrel. If you don't have that yet, go do that because she is an amazing character everywhere. 2 diamonds on Ironheart, 1 on Rescue, and then 7 red stars the others. Again, not a single level 100 in sight. 2.5 million team. This is obviously a very, very big team. All these characters are farmable. You should get them up as high as possible. They have great use in Crucible because they like to kind of lean into these tech raid rooms. Or not tech raid rooms, sorry, just tech rooms. But the Superior 6, you kind of want to use them on offense or defense, and then you kind of have Pegasus as the only other viable tech team. So there's that to take into account. Pegasus has really shown their use in other modes as well, and Kestrel is going to be used forever. She is the first Scopely original character. They've already reached her to be awesome. They'll probably rework her again the second she's not awesome. Pegasus is very, very safe to invest in. The Extreme team, this is the probably best cookie cutter team in the game. They gave away diamonds on Gambit, they gave away diamonds on Cyclops, and they had an event which was whale only for Sunspot, and Nightcrawler is like Kestrel. If you haven't invested diamonds on Nightcrawler yet, and you happen to have him at 7 stars, go ahead and do that. I also got 1 diamond at Forge. This is a giant team, 2.8 million. I don't even do the nodes, I just sim them in this footage to show like 2.8. That's not the size of the team you're going to need. I think a 2 million powered Extreme team will be more than enough. Let's do a couple flips for fun. A 2 million Extreme team will be more than enough to manual your way through. And I'll definitely be testing that on the live server with the smaller account. All right. Then we got the Hive Mind team. This is a very small Hive Mind team, actually. This is a 3-star Red Goblin, which will hold me back when we do those bio nodes. My free-to-play baby account has a 4-star Red Goblin. So free-to-play veteran players should have him at 4. After this pass, if you're a pass buyer, you'll have him at 5. So you should have a bigger Red Goblin, and your Hive Mind section is going to be completely fine here. That boss node takes a long time. Definitely going to have to be careful the way you play it. With the amount of damage that comes in, you got to get your snowball going. So Hive Mind team definitely shows their weakness here, being that they need damage to go ahead and snowball, right? But a 2 million Hive Mind team is going to be great. Again, no level 100s on either Extreme or the Hive Mind team. That'll be a big bump to their damage. Those levels 98 and 99, they have the highest stat jumps. I think that's 5% jump right there. And then there's the Invaders team. Would you believe it? The Invaders team still works. It still works. However, there's RNG on Node 2 like there already is. This Node 1 team that you see here with Captain Sam, it does work. It works very well. The boss node is still a gong show. The sweatiest nerds in alliances like Onslaught and Legion and Sex Panthers, you guys should continue to build up your Invaders team. You'll be able to finish the raids and just wreck everybody else like you always do. And that's cool for you guys. Everybody else, they've definitely done their best to power creep Invaders out. I would wait for an upcoming skill team, probably coming next patch or the patch after that at the latest. They're definitely showing that they want a Invaders team in. All right, guys, well, we just rambled on for 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Let's go ahead and watch some gameplay footage. All right, so here we are, and we're going to be doing this at times 500% speed, because otherwise this would be a 40-minute video of just showing the same nodes you guys have played 1,000 times by now. So this is the first Bifrost node, and it works the same way it has before. The problem is getting resisted on that Morgan Le Fay. Now, the Bifrost team has a lot of good focus, so that really helps you not have to worry too much about having your things be resisted. But if you do get resisted on Morgan Le Fay, and some defense downs get out there, as you see, my Sylvie almost died, and keep an eye on Beta Ray Bill's health here. You can see that he absolutely starts to get tanked when he starts getting hit. I don't know if it's here, if it might be on the next node. You can see he's getting kind of love-tapped by Spider-Man big time and taking huge damage. But the first node goes about as smooth as you would expect it to go. The second node, which is probably an easier node than the first. That first Bifrost node is definitely a lot more difficult. You come in here, the Nemesis actually ends up, if he goes, he will kill your minions, set you back, and that can be kind of problematic, but you have so many buffs you bounce back. The thing to remember about Node 2 that is different than the boss node and the first node is that there's no real cosmic heroes to give you the safeguard, but it didn't seem to matter much. Then there's the boss node. I don't really do the boss node very often, and to be honest, I probably played it horribly. We do get stuck behind the taunts. I end up having my Loki spawns out, and I allow Icarus to ult because I was too worried about controlling the Morgan and trying to kill that Cersei, but with all the health buffs to the Cersei, I just couldn't get her down in time. I got stuck behind the shield security taunt. He ults, all that damage was just from Icarus, so everyone almost dies, but because Icarus is a cosmic hero and we have death proof, we kind of just sit there at 1 life with death proof, and then we heal ourselves back up. We have Vol ult heal us all the way up, can revive a bunch of people, because their only permakill on this team is going to be from that Nova ultimate and the Kestra ultimate. So it's kind of tough to die there because we have the safeguard and because we have death proofs. They're not likely to get you the kill on that one. But here we time out. I was talking a lot while I was doing it. I had to stop talking and start playing a little bit faster. But we time out here, and then I go back in, I resubmit. You will not time out on that node when you're playing it yourself if you have a reasonably sized team. Pegasus comes in, 2.5 million. These nodes are just an absolute joke. Obviously, you need to manually play them, though. Because if you don't, Kestra's always going to open up with her ultimate that slows the node down. And then you're susceptible to Gambit pings, maybe pinging out the wrong target, some horrible RNG. But even then, the Pegasus team spawns with 75% speed bar on all their characters. I just find it super hard to believe that they would ever struggle on this raid difficulty if they're sitting at around 2 million to 2.5 million, and it's just all put into Kestra, like the Bifrost all put into Val. I think it'd be perfectly fine. What you will see here is these Omega Reds. I can't land a single debuff on them. Like, Kestrel got resisted, the Rescue got half of her stuff resisted, Ironheart got a third of her things resisted. It became a nightmare that they did get an ability off, but they were the only characters, so there's no, like, there was no risk of Omega Red killing somebody because he hit into a vulnerable and then did his ISO attack with like 1 billion life, which is what these characters have. So it was fine. And then the boss node is even easier. The boss node, as long as you manually play it and you do the Kestrel special on Sylvie, it feels like you can just auto it. So this was very, very easy, very, very simple, which is good. So it shows like the first 2 sections of this raid, they're still solved. You might need to put a little bit more love into your other Bifrost members because you probably all brought Vol to Gear Tier 18 for Dark Dimension 6. And I think this is great. It also reinstates my willingness to put Gear Tier 19 on Vol. You see here, I just simmed the Extreme team. We do lose on the boss node. It probably played it horribly. I go in here with Hivemind. The reason I wanted to check Hivemind is because they're the newest team. Yes, they're in the passes now, but they've been given the least amount of shards. We've gotten a lot of Extreme shards. But this 3 red star Red Goblin still is the standing passive, giving that 60% damage. He still does really good. One issue I had here is I let the Nova do his special. If my Red Goblin was just a little bit bigger, he would have pushed more people. I would have gotten a lot more speed bar, and even Nova would not have taken a turn. So you got to take that into account. If your Red Goblin isn't Gear Tier 18 yet, because you're just using it as a standing passive, you probably are going to want to bring him a lot higher. Then we got the second node. The second node is very janky. I definitely would never sim it. I try and land the stun on the Quicksilver. It doesn't take. I think it's not worth the risk. I think instead you go for the offense up with Gwen, and then you go ahead and you ult with the Red Goblin. Hopefully your Red Goblin has at least 5 red stars having offense up, and then you would just absolutely crush, right? So I think that's probably the best way to do it. I still get it done even with that slight misplay, and we go on from there. Take out the Eternals. We start making use of the Red Goblin trauma on his special, but I got resisted a lot. Once again, though, 3-star Red Goblin, and I still end up just kind of powering through the nodes. So Hivemind, very safe on the first 2 nodes. The third node was a little bit of a different story, and that's where the size of your Red Goblin really starts to show the difficulty the Hivemind team is going to have in the test of time. Like, the Extreme team is going to have a lot of life in them because they do so much control, they do so many buffs all the time, speed bar, a lot of stuns, slows, ability blocks, speed up for themselves. Here I didn't push enough people. Firestar did her ultimate. She killed my 2-diamond Carnage and 2-diamond Venom instantly. Red Goblin died even though he didn't have debuffs somehow. I think he just, like, he had a pity death. He was just like, screw this, I'm out. Our diamond characters are gone. So that was really bad. And then here my Void Knight gets one shot as well. So he has the dodge, but I think Black Cat is going to come in and just ruin his day here in a second. So yeah, Black Cat comes in and perma kills him, so Red Goblin can't even bring him back. And then I still play it out. I still get really, really far, but it all stemmed, once again, from Red Goblin not pushing enough people with his ultimate. If he had pushed 2 people, I could have snowballed. I could have stole energy from the Black Cat. She wouldn't have got all those buffs up, and we would have had a much, much, much better time. As it stands, though, this was fine. You know what I mean? Like, it was fine enough. I think the Hivemind team is safe. I think like a real account. This is the playtest. Again, it's so janky that I still only have a 3 yellow star, 3 red star, Red Goblin, but my free-to-play account has a 4 and 4, like my level 68 account. Anyway, so I go ahead, I sim the rest of this, and we get it done. Then we move on to the skill section, and here is where we use the Captain Sam team. I don't do the skill section very often, so I know I play this improperly. I will time out, but the Invader team has enough control to still bully this node on difficulty 2. So if you played it properly, I assume you would just absolutely soar through this node. I'm not going to do nodes 2 or the boss node on the skill section because those are riddled with RNG and with the characters just hitting harder and resisting more, and they do resist a lot against invaders. That is the thing that is going to make your Invader team stop working, is they're going to get resisted a lot, and so that RNG goes through the roof, right? So the Invader team is definitely on the chopping block. They will be the next team to go, but for the next patch, probably, they're still the go-to team. So they work on difficulty 1, I can tell you that. Difficulty 2, they start falling off heavy. Difficulty 3, they're just not going to work. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I will pause it here, otherwise the screen's just going to go black. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. I am very happy with the slider. It's just going to be more rewards. You might need to build up your Bifrost team a little bit more. I know a lot of people cheaped out there. You can still just largely ignore the skill section, which I know a lot of you are doing now anyway. Just wait for the skill team to come out, probably in a patch, probably in 2. Hopefully it's a Hawkeye-centric team. You know I love Hawkeye. And yeah, go from there. All right, guys, hope this video found you well and that you're happy, healthy, and having fun. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.